Today's mukbang, I might try to steer in a healthier direction. It's the season. Advertisers aren't advertising as much, maybe. I don't know. But this is the time of year when, the paycheck's a little light. I might still do fast foods.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be talking about Candy, or Hungry Fat Chick. We have not talked about Candy in a while, and there have been some kind of big updates since the last time that we spoke about her. Real quick rundown, I'm sure most of you guys know who Candy is, but Candy, or Hungry Fat Chick, is someone that is on YouTube that does a lot of mukbangs showing herself eat very large quantities of very unhealthy food. And part of that, her whole thing is that she is a very large individual, but she is also someone that wants to lose weight. She talks about it in probably almost every video that she uploads. It's something that she really does want to do. The biggest issue with Candy is that the want and the effort a lot of times don't align. And a lot of people see that, and, obviously that kind of puts her in the whole girl world sphere, and that's why we've started talking about her. As I've always said, whenever I talk about Candy, I really like Candy, and I genuinely do want her to succeed. And so with these videos, I always try my best to be as uplifting as I can be, while also being realistic about the situation, because I think the biggest thing is that she wants to continue making these mukbang videos that feature her eating very unhealthy foods and very large quantities of these unhealthy foods, as well as continue to lose weight. The reason that she wants to do that is obviously because she is on YouTube, and this is her sole income for the most part, is filming herself eating. And as we have talked about before, if she tries to just eat quote unquote healthy foods and do those as mukbangs, those videos just do not get as many views, and she ends up suffering, right? So she's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, and she's really been trying to figure that out, and that's kind of what we've been chronicling. In the past few weeks, Candy has actually lost about 15 pounds, which, is always a win. She recently started taking metformin for her diabetes, and she stated that she wanted to get on a GLP-1 medication to help with her weight loss, but that was not approved through her insurance. I know when I talked about that in the last video, a lot of people kind of had theories as to why that was happening. Obviously, I don't know for sure, but, as just someone outside the medical field, looking at Candy, she seems like someone that would be, obviously definitely a candidate for these GLP-1 medications. But as a lot of people have said that are taking GLP-1 medications that have been approved through their insurance, a lot of times there are certain things that you kind of have to do, certain classes that you kind of have to take. Basically, you have to prove that you are willing to put in the work to get these medications, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think that, the more education and the more that the person understands that's taking the GLP-1 medication, the more chances that they can be successful. Because like with anything, and especially with these GLP-1 medications, it's not a, magic bullet, and you really do have to put in some work to change your habits. And I think that, especially with Candy in her current situation where she feels that she has to continue making these mukbangs, it's always going to be a struggle trying to, appease this part of your brain. It's like there's two wolves fighting in her brain. There's this wolf that's like, I need to lose weight. And then there's this wolf where it's like, I need to also afford my apartment, right? And they're always kind of fighting. They're at odds. And so she has been obviously struggling to lose weight. But I do want to say, celebrate the wins. 15 pounds. Losing, it's good. That's a good thing. It's a good start. And so, congratulations to Candy for that. With all of that being said, there is a reason that we're filming this video today. And the main reason is going to be this video right here that is titled, I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because this is so funny to me. That is titled, McDonald's Saved My Life and Spicy Dan Dan Noodles. So we're not going to be going over this whole video because obviously it's 34 minutes long, and I just don't think it's completely necessary. But if we look at the top comment, now you're just trolling us, Candy, right? So I actually had a good amount of people send this video to me because they were like, come on, dude, like titling a video that McDonald's saved my life. So a little bit of a synopsis of this video. She ends up ordering some noodles to film a mukbang. Those noodles end up being way too spicy. She orders noodles and a couple other things. They end up being way too spicy, so she ends up ordering McDonald's to help with the spice, as well as, again, she feels that she has to do these, these mukbangs and they have to be kind of unhealthy looking food for people to click on the video. And so she ends up ordering McDonald's after these noodles are too spicy. So that's a little bit of a rundown on what this video is. But with all that being said, let's get into the actual video. Rachel has cut together about 6 minutes of this video out of a 34-minute video, I think it was. And so shout out to Rachel. Thank you so much for doing that, because it's, I don't love watching people eat food. And so let's get into the video. So here's the video right here, and let's just go ahead and play it. So this obviously normally has audio over it, but I don't want to get copyright. So it says McDonald's and bad food choices. And then what it says here. So what had happened was I ordered Dan Dan noodles from a place I hadn't tried before, and they were too spicy. If I ate them, I may have unalived. McDonald's to the rescue. At this point, I mean, it all just feels like a big joke. I don't think it is, but yeah. So that's kind of the, again, synopsis of what happened. Shout out to McDonald's.
Diet Coke. Hey, Brian. I've been seeing you in the comments. Where's the Diet Coke? I'm excited about this, you guys. I really am. Today is Friday, February 14th. It is Valentine's Day.
Shout out to Valentine's Day for all you lovebirds out there.
Not something I really celebrate. Not that I don't have people out there that I'm friendly with and that, and I told all of these people happy Valentine's Day today. Ooh, it's a lot of sesame oil. The Dan Dan stuff is pretty spicy. Oh man, come on now.
I mean, I will say those noodles do look pretty good. I like thick noodles like that. It's good stuff, man.
Very spicy. Woo. But good. Hot but good.
It's funny, like, hearing her say that, because it sounds like, reminds me of like a kid when you're like, oh, do you want to try this? And they're like really excited. They're like, yeah, I want to try it. It's going to be so good. And then they drink it, and then they try it and they don't like it. It reminds me of, I had a stepbrother who was quite a bit younger than us, and he was always a little interesting. And one time he would always make these, what he would call concoctions. And I remember one time, because like what he would like mix milk with like soda or whatever, right? Which that's something that people actually do now. I've seen posted on TikTok and stuff. But one time he was like, I'm going to mix orange juice and milk. And we were like, that's not a good idea. And he did it anyways. And he tried to drink. He's like, yeah, it's good. And then we came back a little bit later and we see that the glass is still completely full. And we're like, what happened? He was like, it tasted weird. And I think like the milk had curdled, and it was just like, dude, it was just so funny. Because we're like, bro, we told you. But he was like so trying to prove that it tasted good. That's kind of the vibe I got from right here. We cut the slurping out for you guys.
Ooh. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this one might be a little too spicy. Oh, I'm gonna eat it. Oh, this is bad, y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, I can't eat that. It's too spicy. It's too spicy. No. No.
It's so interesting, the whole dynamic of this, right? The almost need to feel like you have to explain why you can't eat something, and like almost feeling like bad about the fact that you're not able to film yourself eat a specific thing, when in reality it's like, oh, that's too spicy, I can't eat that, right? There's no need to really feel bad about it, but she does feel bad, right? Because the people that end up watching these videos are the ones that are basically paying the rent, the mortgage, whatever, right? Like those, like you almost have to feel like you have to be apologetic because you're not able to eat the thing that maybe they would enjoy. Because I know, you know, people with mukbangs, they can be weird, especially with noodles. There are certain, like that's a whole genre in and of itself, right? Like noodle mukbangs. People love watching the noodles go from the bowl to the mouth and the slurping it up. And again, it's not really my thing. It kind of reminds me of like the old animes like Naruto and stuff, and like Dragon Ball Z when they're eating the noodles and it's like, you know? Okay, sorry.
Nope, absolutely not. It's too spicy. She too spicy for me. Yeah. I'll be right back, y'all. Oh my God, I thought I was gonna die. It was so hot and my nose was running and I was just like, oh, okay. Anyway. McDonald's to the rescue. Make delivery.
It's crazy. Like, this is kind of off topic, but I wonder what the price is for all of this stuff, right? Because obviously, like, it's fast food is not cheap anymore. That's one in and of itself. It's not cheap anymore. But then when you add getting it delivered, like, I'm not sure if I've brought this up already, but dude, when I don't really eat out very much anymore, but when I do eat out, a lot of times I'll get like Chipotle. That's pretty much like the standard thing that I'll get. And I'll get like extra meat, you know, like my bowl's not cheap, right? So it's usually around $15 for my bowl because I get chips and, you know, extra meat and all that stuff. And so, but when I order it on like DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever, it ends up being upwards of $30, and then you tip on top of it. It's like literally doubles the price. It's just doesn't make sense. Like I almost never ever use those services because it just financially, I feel like that freaking Tiger King meme when I'm just like, I'm never going to financially recover for this, because it's one thing, it's like, it's expensive, but then it's double on top of it, because a lot of times it's like, I literally paid twice as much because I'm being lazy. And that makes me feel like I don't even know, like a creature. Like I just feel horrible about doing that. Recently we used DoorDash because the weather here was horrible. It was super snowy and insanely windy. Like getting outside was genuinely scary, and I honestly felt bad about it, but I made sure I tipped the guy really well because of the weather. But it was just like, it just feels so financially irresponsible. Obviously, I understand Candy can't leave her house really and get that food for herself. Again, obviously, I know that people like, shouldn't that be a wake-up call? Again, I understand where you're coming from. I don't disagree with you, but I don't, at the end of the day, it's not like Candy's going to be able to lose all the weight immediately and then be able to get out. But like, that's when I see this stuff, I'm like, dude, Candy, imagine if you did actually lose a significant amount of weight to where you were able to gain independence. Like that would be huge, man. Like I feel like it would break up your day so much because you're not just sitting inside all day, even if it's just getting outside and like 10 minutes, right? Going to wherever you need to go. And that gets you out of the house for 10 minutes a day. Like that could change your life, man. You know, like, okay, sorry. I really went on a tangent there. Let's continue.
Oh my Lord, y'all. I knew it was supposed to be spicy, but this was spicy.
Why is it so spicy?
It was spicy. Okay, and I got another Diet Coke. I couldn't eat those noodles. I mean, you know, y'all know I hate to waste food because, you know, I know people are out there hungry and all that, but I'm not going to force myself to eat something that I don't like. Hot mustard, a free Big Mac. Egg fries. And I got this barbecue bacon.
Free Big Mac. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that's like a promotion or they just threw it in there just because. I don't really know what that's about, but that's interesting. I don't know. I don't know anything though. So
Bacon, quarter pounder with cheese, and a 10-piece chicken nugget.
It's crazy. So looking at this, it's so interesting, right? Because like, obviously it's a lot of calories, right? But when you see the volume of food, it's really not that much volume. And that's one of the biggest issues when it comes to like these fast food places is that you can get a meal that's a burger and fries, and it ends up being like upwards of, well over 1,000 calories, but you're not even like the amount of bites that you are taking to eat it is not very many, right? So you end up finishing it insanely quickly, and then you're like, I'm still hungry, and so the natural thing is to order more, right? And so that's why a lot of times people will get, and I'm guilty of this too, especially when I was getting McDonald's all the time. It was never just one burger. Like my normal order would be 2 McDoubles, 2 McChickens, a large fry, a large drink, and a lot of times 10 pieces a 10-piece chicken nugget, because it just didn't feel like enough. But like the amount of calories that were in that, but again, like I could eat a large stir fry. Again, I know it's not the same exact thing. Okay, I get it. But like that would take just as long, like physically to eat. That would be half, it maybe not even half the amount of calories, right? Like there are just so many better options. Again, I understand that with candy, there's more to it than just the food, right? It's the spectacle of it all. And like if she was just doing stir fries, like, I'm sure some of you guys would watch, and that's great. And it's great that you would support her, but sadly, the majority of her audience would not. And that's not just me speculating. That is from the past, her trying to make these videos and people just not caring, right? And so, but it's just interesting, right?
All right. And I got hot mustard dipping sauce. Whew. All right. Big Mac to the rescue. McDonald's. I know I'm not going to have a problem with McDonald's food.
It's like was it Half Baked when Dave Chappelle loves Abba Zaba? He's like, Abba Zaba, you're my only friend. that's the vibe I'm getting right now.
Abba Zaba, you my only friend.
Because I'm a fat. Big Mac.
That Big Mac bite, it just does not look like she wants that, like even at all to me. Like it looks like she's like, oh my God, I have to freaking eat this. Maybe that's just me projecting, but
that was just what I needed. Woo. All right, y'all. I'm full. I'm full, but I'm gonna eat another fry. I might finish this one later. I'll put this other stuff in the fridge and may or may not eat it. Who knows? I've got other food here.
Again, it's so interesting, right? Because I'm sure that there are people saying, oh yeah, I'm sure she ate it. Like, let's be real, right? I don't know. Obviously, I can't speculate. I don't know for sure. But it's interesting the fact that she ordered so much food while obviously she could feel how hungry she was, right? She ate a good amount of the food before. And again, I think so much of this it's the mukbang, right? Like you have to order a good amount of food. If she just ordered a burger and fries, like that, no one is watching that, right? Like it just would not do well. And so again, it's the whole mukbang thing where it's very interesting because this plays this really terrible dynamic in someone that's trying to lose weight that desperately needs to lose weight, right? But they also have to film these mukbangs. Again, I understand you, like, we don't have to, obviously you don't have to do anything, right? But she feels that she has to film these mukbangs to make rent, basically, right? And so it's a very, very strange and interesting dichotomy. Maybe it's not as interesting to other people, but for me, I find it incredibly fascinating, right? Being in this position where you have to lose weight, but you also feel that you have to film these mukbangs.
I plan on cooking a pot of chili on Sunday because I'm already done with Factor. Already done.
So there's the admission that Factor is no longer working, which I think it could have been, that could have been, honestly, like, I don't know if they would have worked with her, but I think that it could have been a cool sponsorship opportunity for her. Because I'm sure most of you that are watching this have seen a Factor ad or two in your time here on YouTube. But Factor is a place that, they deliver meals to you. And I really think that, she is someone that could benefit pretty well from a, you know, a meal service where, you know, the meals are delivered. You don't have to do anything. You just heat them up. Right. And I think that could be really good. The issue with a lot of times with these, and I find myself with a lot of these meal places, is a lot of times the volume is not very high in the meals. And so a lot of times what I would do is I would get like, you know, Factor Meals or whatever place that ends up sending it. And then I would just add vegetables on top of it. So I would just like microwave a microwavable broccoli, and then basically just pile everything that came from like Factor or whatever company on top of that, just to make it more volume. Because like if the meal takes me, you know, 7 bites to eat it, my brain is like, brother, we need more food. And so, you know, just a little tip for you out there that might be using one of those meal services.
That didn't last long. No real complaints. I mean, I like the food. I like the flavors, all that stuff. But I don't think my body was liking it too much. So, yeah, it was doing things to me that I didn't like.
Yeah, I think that she was probably having some GI distress. Especially, you know, it's very common with the metformin as well as the GLP-1 medications. It's one of the most common side effects, right?
I don't want to say it. But that was already happening. You know, I wasn't having that problem before the metformin, but it's a problem now. So when I get back to the doctor, I'm going to get it all straightened out. Which I got my shoes. I talk about all this stuff on my other channel. If y'all need to know all the tea or whatever, stop it. Just go over there. It's Amazura Dark Star is the name of the channel.
Yeah, so that's her second channel. That's the clip that started this video. Comes from that second channel. In that second channel, we end up, you know, we've talked about it quite a bit, but she talks a lot more about her weight loss, like what she's trying to do, you know. And on her main channel, she tries to really, I mean, she always ends up kind of talking about what she's trying to do with losing weight, but that other channel seems to be her documenting it a little bit more, at least. So that's what she's talking about here.
And the link is in the description, y'all. It's in the description. If y'all just drop down the description box and look for it, the link is there for you. It's at Candy Godiva. You know. Oh, stop touching the fries.
So, you know, and then at the end of the video, she's telling herself to stop touching the fries, which, I mean, if you've had McDonald's fries, I think that's a common thing a lot of us struggle with. Those things are very good. But that's the whole video. And I just thought that it was really interesting. The whole dynamic is very interesting. Again, I want to say congratulations on losing the 15 pounds. I really do hope that that's a start of something more significant. And I really do hope that Candy ends up finding something that works for her. I think that the mukbangs and trying to lose weight, as I've said many times in the past, is making something that's already incredibly difficult, which is losing weight, even more difficult, because one, you're putting that on YouTube, which makes it more difficult, right? Having a bunch of opinions from other people. And then you are also eating large quantities of food twice a week is what she always tries to do, 2 mukbangs a week. It's a very unsustainable way of trying to lose weight. And I think I don't want to say it's impossible, because I'm sure there's someone out there that could do it, but I feel like it is, again, you are doing something that's incredibly difficult and then putting a bunch of handicaps on yourself and making it even harder for yourself, right? So I don't know. We'll continue to monitor the whole situation. I hope that Candy is able to find something that works for her. I genuinely do mean that. But I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments section down below. If you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. Reminder, I do have a membership for the channel now, where we're uploading a video every single week. I just uploaded the first ever morning notes that I've uploaded to the channel in a very long time. And fun fact, it's actually basically a mukbang, which was not intentional, but it is what it is. So if you want to check that out, you can join as a channel member and you'll be able to watch all those videos. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.